Hi. Okay. Stay. No, I have way too much to read here. It will annoy me and I won't end up reading some of this. Okay. Hi, everyone. Some of the engravings that are used in the ninth gate are based on the tarot. Oh, really? No kidding. Hi, Em. Alrighty. I'm really hot, especially the Hanged Man. No kidding. I am going to have to rewatch that. It's been a long time since I've seen that. But you don't even know how much the Hangman represents my mindset for today. Really? Isn't that funny the way the tarot works? They just decided last week that they were going to call everybody out, right? Hi. So, oh, come on. So I thought I was ready about an hour ago, and then I kept pulling cards. And there's way too much. Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different book things besides the ones we already used to read in front of me. And now I'm looking at it going, yeah, I'm not going to be able to read all of them. The Hangman is the card for 2019. Is it really? I look tired. I am. I'm trying to pretend that I'm not. But I really am. And I think, now, can you tell? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I think that, like, for a couple nights, I have thought that my sinuses were still swollen from when I was sick. But I think it might be a tooth. So I'm kind of like, so I went down and took a couple Tylenol before I started because I'm like, maybe that'll help the swelling go down. I feel like I got punched in the face. But nobody called the cops. Nobody did it. All right. I am so hot. I have got to start that fan up. I know it's loud and annoying. Hang on. But I have got to start it up. Oh, except Frank unplugged it. God damn it. It's hot. I need the fan. Hang on. Oh, I gotta plug it in. Why isn't it working? All right, I don't get a fan. Super annoying. I'm too hot. All right. It's cold in your house. My asthma has been triggered. Nope, I'm not allowing it to be an abscess. I hate the dentist. Like, I hate I would rather do almost anything than go to the dentist. So, sinus pressure can make your teeth hurt. That's what I'm hoping. That it's just like that leftover thickness, but it's only on one side. All right. So I have, as usual, I have way too many cards out. Do I say this every time? Every time I feel like I get on and every time I'm like, I have way too many cards out, but this is one of my favorite cards. And then I'm like, did I really say that like every time? Yeah, but this one's one of my favorite cards. Can you tell I like tarot? Can heal your teeth, I believe. And I'm going to do some oil pulling to help that too. My daughter has the worst sinus lately, and she keeps complaining that nature keeps having sex and making her sneeze. All right, that's super weird. That fan just started. And I couldn't get it to work before, and now it just decided it was going to come on. That's so weird. That's a whole deck of the Hangman. I know. It's really... And then I'm like, okay, do I need all of these? And I started putting a couple back. I think I'm going to go through them super quick. It is. It's Mercury and it's the energy. That's so... Oh, see now? All right, it makes me think there's something wrong with the cord. That's my guess. Yep, exactly. Shorten the cord. Okay. How's it hanging? Ah! You're a witch and you find paranormal phenomenon weird. I know. It happens all the time too, but I'm always like, ah! I get annoyed more than I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Hi, Pat. Hey, Frank. Frankie. If you guys decide to go out because you're bored, can you bring me back a cold drink? He's not listening to me.
Out where?
Somewhere where they have a cold drink. I'm so hot sitting here. I'm like, I can't tell if it's because of my sinuses or I'm so hot. And that stupid fan doesn't do anything.
That's something to do. Let's go to a gas station.
Thank you. Nothing fizzy because of my tooth. Like flavored water, you know?
Down to Pop Rocks and Coke.
Yeah, Pop Rocks and Coke. No. Since daylight savings time, yeah, I know. I think daylight clove oil. Oh, that's a good idea too. Thank you. Out to the store to get a cold drink. She's giving you a hint to give her a drink even if you didn't plan on leaving. That's exactly right. The fan is for show. That's right. All right. So the Hanged Man is, I really like the Hanged Man. So it is, hi Amethyst. It is kind of one of my favorite cards. So now I'm starting to get excited again. But I have to say, I have been sitting here and I'm like, okay, is it time yet? So I have to say, after tonight, I am going to be changing the time back to a little earlier. And I feel really bad for changing the time on Pat and Shauna and stuff because I know you guys might not always be able to come. But on the East Coast, it gets dark at like 5 o'clock here now. And then I'm like sitting here for 3 hours waiting to do the video now. And now that I'm not working evenings on Tuesday, I don't think I can have it 8:30, guys, because I'm like ready for bed. Yeah, I figured I'd split the difference and I'll start it at 8 from now on. But I can't wait till 8:30. Especially when we have like these 2-hour lives where I, keep chattering on. And why is my shirt uneven? I'm easily distracted tonight. Okay, here we go. So as usual, I pulled out way too many cards. I'm going to grab a gin and tonic. Yes. Squirrel. Hi, Dana. Hi, Justin. Thank you. My hair looks great. Thank you. I like it. The hair color anyway. So I do have to say, before I start, what was I going to say? Oh, I am kind of really psyched. I'm probably tomorrow when I get home from work, when you have 100 cards to show. I know. Thank you. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of this deck. And it's from Elrond, who is Space Between the Notes. And it is, you guys, I'm like, I'm going to have to, well, I'll tell you during the walkthrough. I have to say, though, I'm really surprised at how much I like this deck. I'll wait till you see the walkthrough. It's very unusual for me to like a deck that is that abstract. And I'm really, really kind of excited about it. So. You got, I missed a troll already? Oh, wait, was he not a troll? Was he a troll? I'm missing it. Thanks, Obsessive. I'll PM you. Oh, was he cool? Damn it. What'd he say? Was it something interesting? Did I miss a cool troll? You know I like the cool ones. Put your wieners out before we start. He said his wiener was huge and no woman would touch him. Damn! At least, at least he was, maybe he was talking about Crystal wieners. How do you know he wasn't talking about Crystal? Hi, Don. All right, let's get started because it is trolling the trolls. It is going to be kind of a long, probably video because I really like this card and I like what it means and I like the symbolism of the card and I like the different versions of the card and most action I had all week, right? I know. I love, gosh, I'm going to start getting squirrely tonight. I love being a Mammotac and must have been on like a horse. And some of the little old ladies are so funny. I can't tell you how many times a week I hear, this is the most action I've had all week. You gonna touch them? And then I get the other old ladies who are like, are you gay? Because I do mammograms. I'm like, well, I'm neither, both, whatever you want to call it. How's your knee been feeling? So I do have to say my knee has been a little bit better. I know, right? Like just because you're in the medical field and you have to do something with your boobs must mean I'm gay. No, Dana, damn it. And Steven asked me last night and complicated, right? It's complicated. Steven asked me last night and I forgot. And I remembered last night when Steven said it, and then I was going to go downstairs to get it. The problem is it's downstairs, and by the time I make it all the way downstairs, I forget what I'm down there for, and I start doing something else. It's terrible. All right, here we go. We're going to start now, really. Yay, boobies. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. The Hanged Man. I just do all the time. It's terrible. So here's the Hanged Man. There's so many cool things to talk about with the Hanged Man. I really love the energy of the Hanged Man. So let's start. The first book we listened to is The Ultimate Guide to the Tarot, Liz Dean. Right? Liz Dean. Yep. One day I said that wrong, so I have to check now every time. It's the number 12. The alternative name is The Traitor. I have literally never heard that. Have I? Oh, yeah, I guess I... Or some about the I don't know, the sacrifice god or something. The numerology link is 3, the Empress. The astrological sign is Neptune, which controls Pisces. Mel, I'll tell you, I like this book for just the very simple, like correspondence types things. If you're a beginner, it is a good one to start out with because it gives you very simple meanings and some of the symbology of the cards and that kind of thing. So it's a good one to start out with. The element for the Hanged Man is water. The chakra is the third eye for intuition. The key meanings are waiting, sacrifice, and enlightenment. This card, with its strange image of a man suspended from a tree, seems deadly by name. Yet when we examine the man's face, he appears perfectly calm, content, even regardless of his precarious situation. He hangs by one leg, yet his expression is beatific, and he has been given a halo. What exactly is going on? The hanged man is on a tree rather than on a hangman scaffold, and the tree is the tree of life, symbol of the world as at an esoteric level. This tree is in bud and alive with future possibility. The hanged man also appears safely tethered, and it's as if he knows he cannot fall. Suspended in midair, he is content to wait out his fate. Thank you, Marge. I appreciate you saying that because I'm going to have to remind myself too. The hanged man has numerous possible identities. He may even be Christ himself. We have a halo and a kind of cross, after all. In the Paris Edouin Psalter, which dates from the 12th century, Christ is shown upside down on a cross, attended to by angels and two men binding his wrists. I don't really like that because that's not the meaning of the card, but, well, all right, I guess self-sacrifice, he literally self-sacrificed. But the whole point of the hanged man is that it's not about like sacrificing your body and, you know, stuff to death. It is about a living being making sacrifices. That's what the halo thing around there is called. Shit. Does it say it here? Did I read that already? Oh, shit. Oh, I'm so bad. The halo thing is called something. I just was talking to Hexen about it. It's called the nimbus. Whew. And it symbolizes the divine in a living being. It's called Beyonce. Where am I? This may relate to one of the card's meanings, which is sacrifice. The T-shaped cross is also a symbol of salvation and indicated those who suffered through the crucifixion of the cross. It is natural to connect at first with the otherworldly situation of the hanged man in his happy suspension rather than his identity. The hanged man is not about to die. Period. That's the biggest thing. It's not about a hanging noose or anything like that. Higher learning or enlightenment, exactly. It's called the nimbus, which represents the enlightenment and the divine in the living being. I want a Nimbus 2000. Rather, he is hanging around until his circumstances change. He's pausing. He's being patient. In the major arcana sequence, the hanged man falls after justice and before death. We had our values on trial in justice, and now we must hold on until death, when we can figuratively let go. Death brings transformation, while the hanged man prepares us to make the sacrifice death needs so he can move on. This may sound rather grim, but death is ongoing change and transformation, and any big shift requires preparation, and in some cases, the waiting time that the hanged man represents. So it's like that breath when you know something is coming and you need the patience to just pause for a minute. Pause and allow the circumstances to be. It's like living in the present moment, right? We talked about that before, that kind of pause before things happen. Isn't this the Loa? Do not chase, let it come to you. Yes, do not chase. Exactly. That pause of, okay, allow it to be. What is to be, allow it to be there. Take that breath and be in the moment, in the present. Allow what is. Okay? Whoops, and then suddenly I can't see because I put my glasses up. The hanged man's number 12 compromises 1 and 2, adding up to 3 for the Empress. Both cards are about incubation. The hanged man's waiting is a spiritual incubation relating to the legend of Odin. And this is the one that I think of is the Odin, the legend of Odin. Whereas the Empress's equivalent is the gestation time for her babies, right? So what's the legend of Odin? Let's see what they say about it here. And then I also have like a little poem on here. In the Rider, ooh, that was weird. I do too. I think it connects much better to Odin. He was talking like an egotistical teenager. Yes, to himself for higher knowledge. Exactly. Um, the tree, the figure, the halo, a symbol of enlightenment and spiritual signifier. Good. They just talked about it and said it was in the symbols. The figure, the right, the world tree. That there it is. Well, that's a very short explanation of it, but this represents the world tree that the Norse god Odin hung himself, which was Yggdrasil. He hung himself for 9 days waiting for the knowledge, right? He was able to have the knowledge because he sacrificed and hung himself on Yggdrasil to get, yes, and he gained the runes, which was one of the first written language, was the runes that he got when he hung himself for 9 days on Yggdrasil. So good. All right. I'm guessing that Benabel might have a little bit more to say about that too. So we'll look at Benabel next. We have the tome, what I call the Tome of Tarot, which is Holistic Tarot by Benabel. Hi, Space Between the Notes. Were your ears ringing? I was just talking about, I can't wait. I'm still studying. I haven't done your unboxing yet because I'm just fascinated with your deck. So I was going to say tomorrow probably, I think I'm going to be recording the walkthrough of your deck. It's amazing. I have to say, and I was telling them that I am very, very surprised. And I hate to say that because I don't want you to think I was like, had a preconceived notion, but, like the simplicity of the doodles, I thought, oh, well, that'll be nice and stuff. But I cannot tell you like how deep. You'll hear it tomorrow. But I'm really kind of enamored with your deck. Yep, Space Between the Notes. He has done a deck called the Spirit Doodle Cards. It's an oracle deck. And he has written one of the most amazing books to go with this deck. I can't even tell you guys. It is really good. So look for it tomorrow. I'll be uploading tomorrow because I only have a half day tomorrow. So yeah, it really is. I'm super excited. Like, it blew me away. I did not think that. I mean, I thought I would like it. I feel like I know I'm stammering, but I did not think I would connect with it like that. And I think part of it has to do with that music. Tomorrow. I don't want to get into it because I'll start going on, and I know how I am when I start going on. But I have not seen anybody talk about music that goes with each card. And so today, as I was going through the book, because I printed out the book today, as I was going through the book, I started to play like some of the songs that you connect with each card as I was looking at that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that brings this whole new level for me because music is such a big part of my, I know. All right. I won't spill the beans. Tonight we're doing the Hangman. All right. Tomorrow. Look for it tomorrow. I'm so bad. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just go on and on. Okay, the Hanged Man. Where am I? Holistic Tarot. Yes, isn't that awesome? Songs connected to the card. All right. Psst, I'm going to stop now. Because I'll just keep going. Okay, Holistic Tarot. Again, Neptune, self-sacrifice, suspension, prophecy, grace. A man is hung on a tau-crossed gallows, leaves still on the wood. That makes a big difference because that's when you're talking about the tree of life, Yggdrasil here, right? Indicating life and regeneration. He is suspended from one foot. hands behind his back. And I want you guys to notice that because something hit me today that I had never really been hit with this card. His legs form another cross. The man wears the red pants of fearlessness and the blue shirt of intuition. A golden nimbus is encircling his head for prophecy. His face is calm and serene. The hanged man knew what was going to happen before it happened to him. So if you, hi Shauna, and Simon always talks about, if you look at Simon from the Herman's Cave, he always talks about you turn the hangman over and you look at his face, and that tells you a lot about what the hangman is about. Because it should be, if it's the kind of hangman that I connect to, it should be very serene. It shouldn't look like it's in a lot of pain. It shouldn't look like he's super unhappy about being there. It's not that it's yippee, here I am, but it should be like, okay, I'm going to take this pause. I'm going to use this moment to learn what it is I need to learn in this moment before I then act. So it's that pause, that moment, that breath in before you act. When death happens, that next card, you're taking that breath before that huge transition that is coming. You're just taking that pause, that you're allowing that space before. Okay? So that's a big deal. Now, the traditional theme of the hangman is that of self-sacrifice. The mob has metaphorically hung the seeker because they do not approve of the seeker's beliefs or what the seeker has done. However, the message of the card is that the seeker is right. The seeker must trust him or herself. He or she has wisdom. The nimbus represents enlightenment, possessing knowledge that resonates with the divine, with the right, and with the good. Okay, and I'm going to stop there because I want to read. I was taking notes on... So I know I've talked before about Jeff from the Tattooed Spirit. And often if I can't remember what I took notes about, I go back to his videos a lot. I will say I do highly recommend his beginner videos. I have taken notes pretty much on at least all the Odin. See, now I'm reading Odin and I'm talking at the same time now, and that's what flies out of my mouth. I have taken notes, at least on most of the major arcana, because he is super, the way he explains stuff is just really down to earth. And when he explains stuff, a lot of times I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't notice that before. He's really good, like about the left hand and the right hand, the give and receive and that kind of thing. And there was something he said today, and I thought, oh my gosh, how did I not notice that? Which is, so let's talk about, first of all, it is when he lays out the cards, and I'll let you watch his videos, but when he lays out the cards, he lays them out in a block, kind of. And the first line goes up to, what do I want to say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think the first line goes up to 8 or 9. And then the second line. So this card is underneath the Hierophant when he lays them out. And he's not on the bad on the eyes either. That is very true. He is a very hot man. And so the Hierophant is above. So he talks about why that's a perfect spot for it. It's under the Hierophant. The Hierophant talks about you're looking at other beliefs to check out, that you may want to involve yourself in an other belief system, and that's an outer force. And the second line is all about your interpersonal influences, something on the inside that's pulling you to do whatever it is this is. So you're taking the concept of bringing the experience of patience and sacrifice, knowing you are exactly where you're supposed to be, even if it's not where you want to be. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're being authentically yourself. And where's his hands? His hands are behind his back, exposing his heart. And this is what I was like, oh, I never, like it never meant anything to me that his hands were behind his back and it's exposing his heart. And what does that tell you? He's not afraid of who he is. He's putting that out there for the world to see, no matter what they think of it. It doesn't matter what they think of it. It's my intent to put that out there and say, I'm exposing my heart. I'm showing you this is exactly who I am. I'm pausing for that patient breath. And I'm taking this moment, I'm sacrificing my comfort and my leading with his heart. I'm sacrificing my comfort. I'm sacrificing my want to do something else. And just being here as I am and showing you there's no mask here. This is who I am. And if you don't accept it, that's okay. I'm fine with that. You don't have to accept this. But just understand that there's no mask here. I'm not showing you. And I'm authentically my true self. And I'm standing here saying, I'm right here. Jesus Christ is Lord. It might be for you and good for you. If that works for you, I'm happy for you. So he has his heart right out there. There's no guard on his heart. He is just right out in the open saying, I'm here. This is who I am. This is in my heart regardless of how you see it. This is the card of artists and creative people, that they are putting themselves out there all the time, their art and their creativity. And when they put it out into the world, they don't know what's going to happen to it. They don't know what people are going to say about it. But they're putting their heart and their work and their creative spirit and many times their very soul out into the world and saying, this is me. This is who I am. Bringing your being to the forefront for all to see. Just take that pause and let it be. There is something about that position that is very difficult. It's not all comfortable. No, and you're right. It's not all comfortable. It is a sacrifice to be putting it out there. And it isn't something that we want to do. Usually this is not something that is really easy to do. I always say, like with me, I always feel like I'm in this constant state of, hi Hexen, of the Hanged Man, because I sacrifice by doing my day job at work, because I have to have health care. And I'm not fulfilled there, and that is not what I want to be doing. I know that this can bring me enough income that if I could figure out healthcare, I could do this full time and be perfectly happy. But I'm not quite there yet. This is my pause before I do that. This is my sacrifice in order to do someday I'll get to do what I want to do. But this is my sacrifice. This is my hanged man moment before I'm able to do what I want to do. First, I have to hang here and do what I have to do to get through that. I'm so impatient. That card is my humbling card, right? This is your for now, not your forever. Exactly. Want healthcare? Wouldn't have moved to Canada to fix that? Yes, it absolutely would. If I could just, my aunt and my mother, my father, and all these people I have to take care of. There's always that self-sacrifice before you get to what you want to do. And it's hard to be patient. It's hard when you're hanging upside down like that. We're only 45 minutes from the border. I know, I'm real close. Real close. It's not far, but... Oh, it's your coffee cup again. Right? I know. And I have to say, I really like these ice cubes. Now I'm going to put my fingers in my drink. I really like these ice cubes because they don't water down my drink. But they smell like plastic. After the drink gets warm again, it smells like plastic. I don't like that. Kind of annoying. All right, I have the whole dish set, and like the big dinner plates, and then the medium-sized plates, and then the little teacup ones, and then the coffee mugs, and for the trolls before you bring out the ice, right? I'm not trying to show off, I promise. All right. Oh yeah, one more book. I almost forgot our last book. I'm squirreling out bad. Sorry, you guys. Isn't that cool? I found that in a thrifted book. You have stone cubes for whiskey. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Oh, and Frankie's home. Ha, yay, a cool drink. My witch's tarot got wet because my AC decided to put water inside my window instead of out of it. Oh, no. I know. I like my witch's tarot, too. I know. I do, too. I have pictures. Look, I don't know who these people are, but I found them in a thrifted book, too. And I always feel like that's so sad.
The day you can say it right, I'll get you one.
I know exactly what you mean.
Flappy.
Get her flappy. What is this?
Talk about.
Oh, thank you. And you. Thank you. I can eat it now. No mukbang here. Can't do it. Except now I have no place to put this stuff. Okay, good. All right. I know he is sweet. Damn it, now I dropped my card. Okay. It's raining sauces, right? All right. So the last book is Modern Tarot by Michelle T. I'm so hot. All right. A person in a tunic hangs by the ankle from a leafy tree and looks pretty chill about it. Is this some sort of ancient yoga move or perhaps a sadomasochistic ritual of yore? In a way, sort of. The hangman represents all situations in which you've put yourself somewhere on the spectrum between slight discomfort and deep pain. Whoops, sorry. I'm taking my socks off because I'm hot. It's buffering for you. Refresh it. Because I don't think it's buffering for us. And you've done it consciously because you know at the end of your bondage, a new and improved reality awaits you. The card, hang on, can represent undertaking a yoga regimen or any new physical endeavor that puts your body through the ringer but does something for your spirit in the process. Oh, I didn't really think about that. Exploring fantasies of submission and pain can leave a person high on endorphins and brimming with new insights about power, sexuality, and the self. So these activities are also watched over by the Hanged Man. Other scenarios that come to mind include scholarship. The Hanged Man is all about sacrifice, and what bigger sacrifice than grad school? That's true. And pregnancy. Your body is in an immense purgatory while creating a kid, not to mention the sacrifices parenting requires. Retreats, both silent and artistic, resonate with the Hanged Man and his resolve to withdraw from the world for a greater personal good. And yes, the greater good of this card is personal. Look at the sunny yellow halo beaming out around his head. It's as if he's reached a meditative state, and the Hanged Man does rule meditation. Those who have practiced sitting with monkey mind understand the hell of it, as well as the clarity it engenders. That's so true. When the Hanged Man shows up, retreat is recommended. Perhaps you have come to a point where the only way for you to get what you truly want is to give up something else. You've weighed the choices, you've made your choice, and decided it's worth the effort, and you're settling into your self-imposed purgatory. Aspire to do your time like the hangman does, relaxing into the discomfort of it. Look at that lax bend of the leg. Not dwelling on what you've lost, but anticipating what lies ahead. A peek at his facial expression shows a radiant acceptance. Sometimes what you need to give up are assumptions or ways of thinking. Sometimes more concrete action is required, like taking a dream job that requires a faraway move, or adopting a new way of eating to deal with a health problem. You might as well just smack me over the head with that one, right? All right, Silver Willow. Thanks, honey. I understand. Whatever it may be, the discomfort you will feel will be proportional to your inability to let go of it. The heart of, oh, that is such a good, let me read that again, just in case you lost that line, because that is so true. So true. This is like the most important line. Whatever it may be, whatever that sacrifice may be, the discomfort you feel will be proportional to your inability to let go of it. I'm going to stop there because that's the most important line. It is directly proportional to your inability to let go of it. The harder it is to let go of it, the more your discomfort is going to be. That is perfect. Perfect line. I should put that on a poster, because if we could all Is that my husband? Is he home an hour earlier? Oh, I think he started getting home an hour earlier because of the time change. I forgot. I think they close earlier. Let it go. Yes, let it go. Let it go. Right? I know it. Yes. Okay, so what that is again, it is about that. So we've talked, when we talk about living in the present moment, we've talked about what that entails and how hard that is. We've talked about being able, the discomfort that comes when it's really hard to live in the present moment. It's because you're not accepting what is. This is what we have here in this present moment. This is what it is. And if we're angry, if we're upset, if we're uncomfortable, if we're anxiety riddled, if we're all of that stems from the fact that we're not accepting the reality that this is it, that we're here. This is it. Whatever we're living right now in this moment, this is it. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. So any kind of discomfort that's coming from that is because we're not accepting this is it. So when you talk, let's say I got into a fight with my mother and I've come home and I'm thinking about, oh, I could have done that so differently. There is if I had said this when she said that, and if I had said this when she said that, and she just makes me so angry when she talks about trying to, move on, and why don't I do this right, and all that kind of stuff. All that is because, you know what? Yes, I had a fight, which that was a whole nother reality. But right now, the moment that is, what can I do about that right now? And if there's something you can do about it, then do it. Like I could call her and say, okay, Mom, I'm sorry we got into it. I got upset and I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that's not what I usually do. I usually sit here for 2 hours and stew about it and think about how I could have said something differently so she could have really understood where I was coming from, damn it. And that's right. Accepting it doesn't mean that you become a punching bag, but it does mean that you go, okay, is there something that I can do about this right now? If so, okay, then go do that. If not, then you have to accept that this is it. This is the reality. There's nothing about the past that I can change. And if there's nothing that I can change that's going to happen in the future, then I'm just sitting in this moment. This is it.
Apparent winner of Kentucky's governor is Democrat. One down.
Hey, is Dad home?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, cool. So, and the more we fight that, the harder this moment is. The more I sit and dwell on how awful that was, the harder this moment is. The more anxiety I'm going to have, the more anger I'm going to have. And that goes with the hanged man's breath before action. When you decide, okay, I'm going to have to live with this job that I'm at for now because I need the health care, because I still have 2 kids that are on the health care that I'm on. I'm going to have to just deal with it. I'm going to have to go. And the more I go, oh, I hate this job, I just don't want to go, the harder it's going to be for me to get up every day and go to it. And if I'm like, okay, you know what? This is what I have to do in order to go to my witch shop and all that. Totally talks. Yes. Living in the now. Good books for sure. Eckhart Tolle. Love my little Eckhart. And if you like him, I absolutely recommend you getting his books on audio, because he reads them and he's such a little, I don't know, because I'm a geek, I love him because I love his little accent and then his little geek laugh. He kind of goes, it's so funny. I just love it. Okay. But anyways, the more that you can accept what is right now, the easier it's going to be. The more your face is going to reflect that meditative state of, okay, this is the sacrifice that I need to let go and allow this sacrifice to happen so that I can get to where I want to be. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. Okay, where's my little poem thing? Worked in the pharmacy and I would literally make myself feel sick. Yeah, exactly. And I have too. We've all gotten into arguments where we're like, damn, I wish I said, I had nothing to say. They like slammed me and I had nothing to say. And then for 2 hours, I'll think of like rebuttals that I could have said. I'm like, stop it. That's so stupid. Cut it out. Okay. The Hanged Man is the only tarot card visibly based on a mythological figure. He is Odin, the Norse god who hung from the world tree for 9 days to earn the knowledge of the runes. All of the cultures who embody the search for knowledge in their myths, only Odin carries out his quest without moving, at least in the physical sense. The true quest is seeking within, not without. This may be confusing at first, but only because the Hanged Man is the card of paradox. The Hanged Man's mysteries are some of the oddest yet most enlightening the tarot has to offer, and they cannot be learned by searching for lessons in the physical world. You must turn within. So there isn't lessons that you can seek out from somewhere else from where this is coming from. It's always, for the Hanged Man, it's always about looking within, about taking that breath, about taking a meditative state for a minute to say, okay, this is what I have to do to get to what I want, right? Yep. Card of paradox. Yes. When the Hanged Man appears, know that greater wisdom and happiness is at hand, but only if you're prepared to sacrifice something else for that wisdom. Sometimes it is something physical you must be deprived of, but in most cases, it is a perspective or viewpoint that must be left behind. For example, a fantasy that you can never fulfill, or crush on someone who's out of your reach. Inevitably, sacrificing something you value will always lead you to something even more valuable. In the wake of an unattainable dream, you will find something else within your reach. Forgetting about one love will allow your heart to open to someone else who was meant to be your true love. Right? The difference between the Hermit and the Hanged Man. So the Hermit is not about sacrifice. It is not the giving something up or taking that sacrifice to get to what you want. It is about seeking within as just a meditative, looking for where you're at right now. Pulling out shadows to see if there's something you need to get rid of. Looking at, taking that moment to be within, to see if there's something within that needs to change. Introspection, exactly. And that the Hanged Man is about the sacrifice that you're taking while you're doing that meditative state, you're taking that breath, but it's about the sacrifice itself that you're looking for that knowledge. Okay, perfect. All right, let's look at some other cards here. Now, I'm going to look at a couple different cards first to start out with. I don't know how to say this. Okay, so first, there's a couple cards that I have that are very Odin-like. I will tell you the best Hanged Man card that I'm waiting to come out, and I can't wait because it's like my favorite Hanged Man I've ever seen, is Bone Stone and Earthflesh, the one with Avalon and Anaturian. And they have a very clear Odin with Hugnin and Mugnin. Hugnin and Mulin. The two ravens of Odin's. Apparently I can't say that tonight. And it's very clear. He has, the patch over one eye, and it's very clear that it's Odin, and it's like thank you, Mugen. I will have that deck as soon as it comes out. But although it's very close now, I hear. It's poor Avalon. I don't know, it's like she's been through hell and back trying to get this darn deck out. She's been through deaths in her family and all this stuff, so it'll be here. This one is close. It's very Odin-like, and this is that Lay of the Nine Worlds deck. I know, I do too. It's just, gosh, the things she's had to go through since that deck was supposed to come out. She has just been through the ringer. So I just feel like, the universe will get it out when it's supposed to. I totally trust her, obviously, and Anna and everything in the process. They're doing the best they can with it. Yeah. So this is just a gorgeous deck. Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know what, Amethyst, you're right. And that is what makes all the difference. When the creator is so transparent about why the deck hasn't been out, or what's been going on, every step of the way Avalon has come out here and been like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but this is what's going on. And the fires in Australia, and I mean, she just really has been through all this shit. And you're like, okay, you know what, let's just back up and allow that deck to come to fruition when it's supposed to. Yes, I can absolutely do a video on Odin's story. I want to get back to the God and Goddess series. So, yes, and Pat, I would love to see you do one. That would be awesome. All right, so that is a great deck, very Odin-like. And I like this one a lot. This also is a nod to Odin, which this one is, what the heck is it called? The Raven's Prophecy Tarot. And this is, the raven itself, which is a nod to Odin hanging upside down. And I like that one a lot too. The colors of the raven and stuff in this one are really beautiful. You can tell that it's black, but it's that really gorgeous shimmer of some of the ravens that you see have that gorgeous shimmer in their color. It's really pretty. So I like that one a lot. Okay, I'm going to try to go through these as fast as I can because I do have a lot that I pulled out. So I'm sorry. This one is the Animal Monday. No, not the Animal Monday. This is the Tarot Fauna deck. And whoops. And I like this one. I will tell you that I have a lot of animal decks, which I will go over right after this, that, I don't know, to me, they all use the same thing, and this one is a little bit different. So it is, I really like that it's that sacrifice. They're going into the chrysalis waiting for that knowledge, waiting for that knowledge of the butterfly. Mama, do tarot fast. Hush up, Pat. Thank you, Marge. And so I really like the symbolism there. So the rest of these animal decks, I'm going to try to go through fairly quickly because they all use the bat, which, okay, was a brilliant choice. But, it becomes kind of cliche because they all use the bat. And a lot of the animal decks are using the bat. So this one is the Naked Heart Tarot. Yeah, you could use a sloth. Absolutely. Or I was thinking the other one that I don't have that I want is like the Natural World, I think it is, uses a possum. And I thought, oh, that's a little different. My animal deck uses the Praying Mantis. Oh, I could see that. This one is the Animal Wisdom Tarot. And don't get me wrong, it is, you know, the bat is a good choice. It hangs upside down anyways. How about a kid hanging upside down on the jungle gym, right? And I think we have at least one card that does that, Marge, tonight, for sure. Yeah, I know. Exactly, Deb. That's kind of what I thought, too. That it kind of was I hate to say the cop out, but it kind of, to me, I was like, it's okay, I guess, because it already hangs upside down. Yeah, but that's the point. Exactly. It's not supposed to be comfortable. This is the Bohemian Animal Tarot. Yeah, me too. Exactly. I like bats and I get it and stuff, but it just becomes kind of like a cop out. And I have to say, I don't know. I'm okay with this deck. I haven't been using it for readings though. There's something about the human and animal together that just has it. I don't know. It doesn't work for me yet. I'm not giving up on it yet, but I don't know. This one is from the not 78 Mythical. And I like the beaver. Yeah, like the beaver. Like all the animal decks use the beaver for the 8 of Pentacles. Exactly. This one at least uses, there's a goddess that apparently shows up as a bat. This is the 78 Tarot Mythical. And it's a goddess. And I was going to try to remember her name. It starts with an E. That shows herself as a bat. So this was a little bit different anyways because it was based on a goddess and not just the animal. Do you know of any hangmen hung from the neck instead of the upside down? Yes, there are a couple of them for sure, Hexen. I have to think about it. I think there's a couple of them for sure. I didn't pull those out specifically because it's not, it's not exactly... Shadowscapes, I think, is one that's kind of like that, although he's encased in something. But here's the Everyday Witch Tarot.
Kentucky came through.
Really? For governor?
Did you see my tweets and shit today?
No, I haven't had a chance.
Don't worry about it. I jumped all over them today.
Yay!
And they came through.
Woohoo!
Like, huge upset. 30-point swing.
That's awesome. Hope that means Turtle Boy will be gone. So I like this one a lot. It is very definitely herself putting her in this position. And again, if we turn it upside down, she's very deliberate about her sacrifice here and kind of putting herself in this meditative state, right? How do you like Shadowscapes? It's right here. Hang on. I love Shadowscapes. I will tell you what I say every time I pull out a card, which is almost every week I pull out a Shadowscapes deck. And here it is. I absolutely adore these cards. I think they're great imagery. I really, really wish that, yes, it needs to be bigger. It's just so gorgeous. If you get in and you really see all that detail, there is so much look at all the dryads in that tree and his spiral tattoos and the way his face is and he's interacting. If you see, he's interacting with the Fae here. And it's just, and the ankh, look at the ankh hanging in the tree. There's so much detail here, but it's a small card and it's hard to see all the detail. I really wish they would really blow these pictures up. And I'm not a huge fan of those huge cards because they're hard to shuffle. But there's so much detail here that you can miss. The app is great because you can zoom in. Why didn't I know that before? Oh my gosh. I'm so getting the app like tonight because I love these cards, but I'm always like, oh, you just miss so much. It is an absolutely gorgeous deck. And I love almost every card is gorgeous. I just don't use it very much because it's small and it, you know, it kind of washes away all the detail that you get when you really look into it. So, oh my gosh, I'm so getting the app. I'm so excited. The Twilight of the Fairy Realm Tarot has an image of a woman lying down with her hands around her neck. She looks like she's choking herself. That's different. Why did I just picture my own version of a hangman? A corpse wrapped and trapped, hanging in a spider's web. Ooh. I feel like I've seen that. But maybe not. That's a good idea for a card, though. Okay, this one is Line Strider. I love this because it's so different. We have the tiger, and oh, I pulled out the book for this because she has a really good explanation for why she uses a tiger. And I'll just read that part of this because I don't want to read everything. But it is, there we go. The Hanged Man is a mysterious card that often appears at turning points when you may be stopping to assess a situation or looking for a new way to see or approach life. The upside down man, in this case a blue tiger, is suspended from a tree with his right foot bound, while his left leg is free, bent at the knee. I depicted a tiger because I believe the Hanged Man is a powerful character that can spring into action when a decision has been made, rather than a docile or passive character. Cats are also able to be upside down in midair without losing their sense of balance or direction. And he manifested for me as the color blue. I think because blue is the color of suspended breath, of waiting, of nature in her winter stillness. Despite his somewhat extreme pose, his expression is relaxed, as though he is hanging on the tree of his own will. The bent leg indicates his potential for action. Around the tiger's head is the halo, a symbol of spirituality. So I really liked that one because it was so different. And I love her depiction, and it's an interesting concept to me to have that moment before you act, be with the bent leg, be ready to pounce, you know? All right, where am I putting the ones that I'm done with? Hold on, let me take a drink here. Cold drink. That does it. Okay. Next we have the 8 of Coins Tattoo Tarot. I sometimes fall asleep with my legs crossed like that. What does that mean? Maybe you're sacrificing your REM sleep or something. So I think this one is really brilliant. I love this depiction. This is very definitely a position that she has put herself in. It is obviously not going to be a comfortable position, but she is here to learn something. There is something to be learned from this position she's put herself in. And she is taking that moment before she acts to figure out what it is she's supposed to learn in this position, right? In bondage, absolutely. I love this depiction. Yeah, the suspension. You can feel that suspension. And even though it cannot be a comfortable position, she still has put herself in that meditative state of, okay, what is it that I'm going to learn from this right here? I'm going to let go of trying to wriggle and be uncomfortable and just try to learn from that. I really like that. In the same kind of notion here is the Witches Insurrection. This is the one with the sex worker where she made the cards. Love this card, you guys. Love this card. And actually I pulled her book out too because I wanted to read really quickly just her choice for this and why. Is again really good choice for this card. The Hanged One is suspended from a hook and secured to the wall. Their face is covered with a bag, but the intricacy of their bonds suggests that they weren't put there against their will. Their perspective is altered. In darkness, they must look inwards and find new perspectives rather than taking the world at face value. The Hanged One is a reminder that surrender is not always negative, that sometimes we must make sacrifices in order to attain higher consciousness, and that martyrdom can make way for learning. Love that card. This deck in particular, you guys, this is like one of my favorite decks of the year. I've said this one, the Tarot of the Unknown, I really liked that release that came out recently. I'm really loving this deck. Done with the book over here. This is the, however you say it, the that is the Witches Insurrection deck. This one is the Forest of Enchantment, or the Enchantment of Forests, or whichever way you say it. I get it wrong every time I try to remember which way you say it, so I just have given up. And this one I like, it's a very different view. This is like the womb. But it's in a tree. It's very definitely in a tree. So this is very much that that Odin-esque, thing that this man has obviously sacrificed and brought himself into the tree for learning. And the tree then becomes like this womb surrounding. Yeah, the amber, exactly. So that he can attain knowledge. I love, love, love. Yeah. Really interesting take on it. And that is that Forest of Enchantment, or Enchanted Forests of Tarot. I can never remember how to say it. However I say it, it's always the other one. I think it's the Enchantment of... I don't know. Damn it. Hold on. It's right here. I should know. Oh, no, it's not there. Where the heck did I put it? Oh, yeah. The Forest of Enchantment. That's what it is. Thank you, Marge. Hexen, I don't want to read this card. It's too long. I wasn't going to pull this card up because when I first pulled this card, all right, this is the Vampire Tarot by Ian Daniels. And when I first pulled it out, I was on the phone with Hexen. And good. So Hexen will go live and read it. At first, I was like, hell no, because that to me does not mean what the Hanged Man means. But I will say, because look at his face and stuff. Whoo, that's a powerful pain. But when you read the book, it is. It's really good. It's a good card. But it's a long explanation, and I'm not going to read it tonight. So I'll let Hexen do the reading for it. It is really good, and he's like becoming a part of the tree, and he's letting go of what he, the sacrifices, the stuff oh good. Hexen will read it tonight. I hate to say that, but it's a long read, and I'm not doing it tonight. This one is the Celtic Tarot. And again, this is like same kind of concept, just a little bit different. It's a little bit more earthy. I like the Celtic Tarot that they do this anyways. You see the ribbons in the tree. So I haven't read the book in a while, but the ribbons in the tree represent the time of Beltane. So now we're talking about the sacrifices that are made at Beltane. So you guys ever work with your tarot deck for fun by focusing on a specific card and trying to feel it out and pull it from the deck? I'm trying to think. I think I have done that with psychic energy cards, but not with tarot. It's interesting though. I have done, the 3 cards, you put 3 cards out. And so it could be, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, I do. Where people put 3 cards out and they say, okay, pick one for your energy for the day. You know what I mean? And I do pretty good at that. However they do that. I don't know what I'm saying today. Green Witch. Here again we have the Horned God. I loved this one. And I had to pull it out just because I love the Horned God. I love that. See the infinity symbol here at the bottom. Love that. I'm so hot again. Take a drink. Okay. Next is the Slow Tarot. I liked this one because of all the little details of this card. So, I knew I had seen one with a spider. Look, Hexen. I mean, this is not what you were talking about exactly, but look at all the spiders, and the spider web is holding him in the tree. Isn't that cool? And then he's also doing the cats in the cradle thing upside down. So like he's keeping himself in a meditative, busy state. Zener test. Thank you, Deb. I knew I was trying to figure out what it was, but I couldn't quite get it. But he's keeping himself in the meditated state by doing the cats in the cradle thing with his hands, which to me as an ADD person who has to do come on with my phone, who has to do something to keep myself busy even when I'm doing nothing. All right, I need to clean this obviously because it's not working. Axon, you're so cute. Better. Okay. So as someone who needs to do something with my hands or something, even when I'm supposed to be meditating, I liked that one because it gave him something to do. I would be going crazy, like just hanging there without anything to do. This one is the Cute and Creepy tarot deck. And I just like this deck in general. It's a nice deck to pull out. It's really cute. The symbolism is there. It's a good deck to pull out, especially around Samhain time because it's kind of creepy, but it's really cute. And the symbolism is still there. I like it. I'm going to avoid that one. I'm going to avoid that one. Here's my gorgeous, beautiful, incredible, masterful art card. The True Black. This is just so gorgeous. And this one I am going to read a little bit because the way he describes this is unbelievable. It's just such a gorgeous work of art. And this card in particular, I love the explanations for this. What do you mean out of print? It's out of print now? Is it really? Already? Wow. That was quick. Okay, a man's legs suspended in the air lays face down in a golden field. He is calm, peaceful, and relieved as he slowly disintegrates. The hanged man is a symbol of surrender, but not of principle or will. With liquid gold dripping from his lips and nourishing the earth around him, he embodies the realization that some situations can only be won by losing, sacrificing a battle in order to win the war. A cloud of butterflies manifests near his vanishing feet. He is finally at peace, confronting this realization, and the card is also encased by an aura of understanding and finality, a quiet and dignified end to achieve the greater goal. In this contradictory nature, the hanged man can also symbolize taking a different and unexpected approach. The most obvious answer is not always the best. This is just such a beautiful symbolic deck that I just thank Mama Lillian so much for gifting it to me because, love it. I love it. I did have to pull out the Dark Mansion Tarot because this is one of my favorite cards. I wish I loved them. They're cool from a distance, really. I always love the artwork of this card, and this is just such a cute card to look at. Again, here we have his hands are behind his back, and really pointing his heart right at the ground. Even have bats in there too. Such a cute deck. This is the Children of Litha. And there was something in here I wanted to read too, I think. Sorry guys, I know it's a lot to read, but trapped and tangled, stumped and vexed. What was up is now down, and I'm quite perplexed. Yet here a thought that this way comes, there is more to part than the whole of its sums. To struggle and writhe is no way to see. One must be calm and collected if they seek to free. The mermaid in this card is ensnared by a rope tied to an anchor. The more she struggles, the more tangled she becomes. In much the same way, the hanged man urges us to slow down and reevaluate our circumstances. It is a card about feeling stuck and needing to let go. So again, that reminds me of the stuff in Harry Potter, you know, that the more you struggle, the more it hangs on. What is it? The something snare that they get stuck in. The dead man's snare, or the something. Aren't I great? The something. Double snare. Thank you. Reminds me of that. Okay, this is the Bohemian Gothic. And I just had to pull it out because it's just such a beautiful card. That shadow work in this deck is it's just beautiful. You're welcome. And you can't even see his face. I was going to say, I wonder if his face looks peaceful, but it's so shadowed that you really can't. And that's okay. It just is that gorgeousness in the shadow. And I guess if you're going to have to be suspended and hanging and uncomfortable, that would be a cool place to do it, wouldn't it? It's just so beautiful. Anyway, Here, the Alice Tarot, also a Baba Studios deck, which has the Cheshire Cat. And again, I liked this one. Marge, you do so good when you're here. I so love when you're here. I like this one because the Cheshire Cat is one of the people, or one of the things in Wonderland that has all of the knowledge, right? The Cheshire Cat seems to know everything and holds the knowledge of Wonderland. It's okay. We're getting close to being done. This is the Stolen Child Tarot, which I just am loving this deck. This is like it's part of the tree. I love that the squirrel is running down the eggs at the bottom. She's like holding on to the eggs to make sure they're safe as she's standing there. And to me, it's, and I don't know, the book isn't out yet. But, yes, Stolen Child Tarot, exactly. But to me, the sacrifice here is that she's actually becoming a part of the tree to help save the tree. You know, she is becoming part of the tree in order to save all the little critters that need it. Yeah. See? See, there's the face. And see her fingers holding the nest here. Really like this card. It's beautiful. This one is the Majestic Earth Tarot. And this is called Upturned. What a gorgeous image, right? I really am liking this deck too. A capsized crew gives themselves to the waves. To become ourselves completely and without reservation, we must dissolve into the sea of life. Without calm acceptance, the Phoenician sailor fears death by water. Only by surrendering to transformation can we breathe underwater. Just gorgeous. Honestly, I did not see what you see in this deck. Really? I love this deck. You know, and I have to say, it is really a lot of landscapes and stuff. But when you read the little blurb she has about each card in the book, it's gorgeous. Like, each image is perfect. I just love the way they do it. Really perfect. I love it. Perhaps the sacrifice could be an opportunity. I know this was mentioned, but I immediately thought of the coin the deceased give to Charon. Ooh. That is an interesting take on it, Sarana. I think the images are forgettable, just anything you would find on a postcard. And that could be Marge. I just think there's something, when you hear the blurb about it and you really look in to the images, just the images of the overturned. Look at the boat sinking there. There's so much to that. And then the little lifeboat over here and the people that are desperately clinging to, look at the mast. And then the expanse of that rolling sea. I just love it. And you know what? It's okay. I'm not saying you have to like it, because don't forget, there's decks that people absolutely adore that I'm like, it's okay. All right, this one is the Star Tarot. Such a glossy deck. I'll see if I can get it to focus. Wish it wasn't so darn glossy. I'm really hoping when they redo this, it's Surrender to the Ocean and Neptune. Yes, yep. Neptune is the ruler of the card, definitely. I really, really wish this card was not so glossy. Because it's really... I don't know if I can get it to focus. Homer, yes, I am married. Why are you proposing? You can get handfasted. All right. So if you look again, here's that meditative state, and they are wound up by this gorgeous. To me, this light is like energy that's holding them up. Yeah. How reading about something makes you appreciate it so much more. One time I almost spent $35 on a wine glass with a river stone attached to it because it had a beautiful poem on it, right? As if written from the perspective of the river stone. How cool is that? Absolutely. All right, this is the Gaian Tarot, and I love this version. I was talking to Hexen. I'm going to have to, I think, I'm back and forth. I'm going to have to probably trim this deck so I can actually use it, because I love every image of this deck. I love that she is portraying the cloud, but she is like really attached to the tree. I just really, I really like this deck. I don't use it because of the big, huge, ugly borders, and the card is so huge. It's very hard to handle. But I really don't want to cut it because it has silver gilded edges, which I like and I don't have a backup of this deck. So I feel like someday they will, make a version of the deck that I can handle. Just like this one, as a matter of fact, which is the Next World Tarot. And didn't I hear somebody say, did they make the mini version of this deck? If they did, I'm going to have to get it. I think someone told me that they were going to make a mini version. Suspension. So this is an awesome card. Very much about, they were talking about the yoga part. This is that sacrifice of doing something. To me, this is not something I would want to do. But you're doing it, you're sacrificing in order to, get that health factor that you want. And to me, I would be hating every damn second of this. But doing it because you have to get what you want, right? So this sacrifice is worth it. And awesome that they are totally giving in to that sacrifice. Hi, honey. Okay, now our last two are the ones that we read the story from, which is the Everyday Enchantment by Poppy Palin, not Piper. So here we have this upside down kid. Who said that? Was that Marge that talked about the upside down kid? All right, here's the story. I'm just hanging around, not showing off or demanding attention, but hanging loose and chilling while everyone else freaks out. I don't know what they're stressing about when there's nothing they can do. Okay, so the bus is late, and by direct inference, we're all late too. And that's a pain, but it's not the end of the world. What, you didn't expect a kid like me to use a word like inference? Well, did you expect me to be upside down? I wasn't expecting you or them to be the right way up. But here I am, and here they are, and the world turns just the same. I could be standing there all fearful and fixated too, yelling into my phone or screaming my head off with sweaty palms and a crinkled forehead. But instead I say, whatever, man. Not because I don't care, but because it just is what is. And no amount of freaking is going to change that. It's not like I haven't got anything better to do. I have college to attend, just like they have work and school. Wait a second, this is supposed to be a college kid? Good night, Deb. But I choose not to blow a fuse because I can get what I want immediately. I can't force the issue, so I'll just flip it around and see what happens. Or not. I'll just witness the moment because it's not so bad. Here is it. Check it out. There's a beautiful garden spider spinning next to me here. She's pretty cool for an arachnid. She doesn't struggle or get tangled up. She hangs loose, see? She sees the world in a different way, just like me. And what we see is pretty good. The sun's breaking through, and that dove's like a prayer flag, fluttering blessings over our head. And when I'm upside down, those frowns on people's faces turn into smiles. It's so easy, man. So what if I've sacrificed my first class? I've gained a different perspective, and I've learned something unexpected instead. So, do you want to hang out? Right? It's kind of nice. I like it. It's a good card. And I love the stories. Boy, I love all the stories in that. Still here, Mama. Been working on my BS. No problem. Oh, darn it. Did Deb leave? I was going to say, I've been working on mine, too. Love it. Okay, one more. And this is the bane of my existence for, being a middle-aged woman. Thank you so much, the creator of the El Goliath deck, for trying to make me read this teeny tiny crazy writing. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if I can read it. Jeez, it's small. The Suspended Monkey. The Hanged Man is a reference to an act of stopping what you're doing. Halt! Now is not the time to be urgent. Anything that you're doing that requires decisions resulting in any form of physical action, then it needs to be paused or postponed that to a later date, but not ended. If there's any way you can buy some more time for yourself to reflect on how you feel and to think about a matter, then now is the time to do that if you can. Many people call this having a sick day or a mental health day. If you're feeling a bit indecisive on a matter, then it is better to stop and let time pass, giving you a higher perspective of the situation. This will give you more time to process all the elements that you need to in order to gain a higher and clearer decision on something, especially if you're feeling a little run down, overworked, stressed out, or tired. Oh my gosh, he writes so much. Hold on, let me find what he says about this. In this card, we see a wise old monkey up in the Himalayan mountains. His tail is wrapped around vines and moss, completely suspending him from the ground below and upside down. He has climbed up into the mountains, high above the mist and fog, away from all the other monkeys, to be alone with his thoughts and to connect with his higher self. The gesture of his arms being crossed is representing his mood. I have not decided yet. And in slight self-protection. This monkey's depiction was partly inspired from the character of the wise karate teacher Mr. Miyagi in the popular 90s movie franchise The Karate Kid. His eyes are wide open in a stare, evaluating everything in complete suspended stillness. I wanted a Zen look, Buddha feel for him, and his crossed over left foot holds some Buddha beads that he moves around from side to side in a twitch-like motion while he is in deep thought and contemplation. He may stay in this suspended state of choosing for quite some time before he feels that he is ready to come back down and make his next move. The Hanged Man card is the tarot's way of gently prompting you to see things in an altered state, and also the position in which we find this archetype that is of detachment from the material world by not making any contact with the ground beneath. He's doing his work not in the physical world, but in an astral inner self level, and he feels that his suspension and immobility can't hold it up anymore, is, shit, I lost it. Yep, totally lost it. Immobility is actually feeding his spirit and helping him to draw his answers. This card is closely linked to altered states that can be induced via hallucinogenic and other natural mind-altering substances. Whew. Well, that is a different take. I like that, though. Interesting. Okay, so quickly we're going to do the before and after, because I actually like the before and after, I think, of these ones. The before... Good. The before, we see the two crows. See the Hugin and Moonin, where we work on BOS spell books. Oh, that's a good idea. And so he's just been tied up there, and he hasn't yet crossed his leg or his arms or anything. Thank you, Pat. I could never say it. I could have it right in front of me, and I could still not say it. Just like Thor's hammer. Nope. I can't. Nope. Can't do it. And I'm a Viking, so you'd think I would be able to say that. Nope. Just not going to happen. Molinar. That's close. Okay, so that's the before. And then the after is kind of a, hint of he's been up there a while, so someone is giving him a drink. So I know it is kind of a nod at I'll touch on pronouncing. Thank you, Pat. The crows represent, yes, they represent two different things. You're right. They're his eyes. They go and find out all the information on the earthly plane and then tell him every night. It does kind of have a nod to the Mary when Jesus is on the cross. So there's a little bit of a Christian nod to the after tarot here. But it also could just be that he's, been hanging there for quite some time. And so someone that cares is giving him a drink. Guess I scared all the trolls away. Boring, right? All right. And then finally, the backwards card, what's going on behind. Thought and memory. Thank you, Jennifer. This is what the heck is it called? New Vision, Tarot of the New Vision. So this is in front and this is behind, which at least this is kind of interesting. It kind of says he's sacrificing like in front of an angry mob, Reminds me of Harry Houdini. Yeah, me too. We had Jesus and Wiener Trolls tonight. I know, right? All right. So, finally, if you pull this card, the Hanged Man in career and finance may indicate that you need to put aside your own goals and desires for a while in order to serve the greater good and meet the requirements of others. It may be a time to hold your tongue and bide your time. Any promotion or change of career is not indicated or at least will be delayed. Stick to your principles, but wait for a better time to act. You may need to lose a battle or two in order to win the war. In a health reading, the Hanged Man indicates that you may need to give up something and take time out of your usual activities in order for recuperation to be effective. The best response to this is to submit and allow the situation to run its course. Consider how you may use this time constructively. Relationships. The Hanged Man indicates that you need to let go of any preconceived ideas and expectations about the relationship. Accept and enjoy the relationship for what it is rather than what you would like it to be. Seeing things from the other person's point of view will be beneficial. And finally, a general reading. indicates a time of pause and a change of perspective. So remember that moment of pause and then change of perspective. Thank you, Deb. You guys don't have to do that, but I thank you so much. Thank you. Some kind of sacrifice may be needed in order to achieve the greater good in the long term. Subduing the ego and connecting to the higher self in order to gain deeper knowledge and insight is also indicated in this card. Time of pause, change of perspective. Exactly. Exactly. And again, I do want to encourage you to take a look at Tattooed Spirits beginner cards. He goes through a video, like 10-minute video or shorter for each card. And it is super interesting, and his perspective really always gives me something to write down that I missed, or I didn't quite hit me the same way. I really like what he has to say about it. Okay, what card are we doing next week? Now, don't forget, next week is going to be at 8 o'clock instead of 8:30. And then, depending on how dark it is still, I may have to, eventually get back to starting at 7:30. We'll see. It's just so dark. We'll see how it goes, though. Let's try doing it at 8 first and see if we're okay. Again, I always feel bad for poor Steven, who is 5 hours later than us. So you figure it's 1:30 in the morning. We start at 1:30 in the morning for him, which is crazy. That's okay, Exon. I told you it's late. Okay, next week. Do something right in the middle here. Another major card. Wow. The World card. I can't believe we've had so many. Is that another? We did the Hangman. Did we have another major card last week? What did we do last week? Now I can't remember. But boy, it seems like we've had a lot of major cards all at once. The Sun. Yeah, that's right. We've had a lot of majors. Yeah, and a couple court cards too. All right, so next week it will be at 8 o'clock. I will put up the event as soon as we quit this video. And I hope to see you next week. Keep an eye out tomorrow for my walkthrough of the Spirit Doodle cards. I'm telling you guys, you're not going to be disappointed. This is such an unusual, deep, it's just a very different deck, and it hits me in a very different way than any deck I think I've ever had. It's very different, and I like it a lot. So, watch for that tomorrow, and thank you guys for joining. I love you all. Night.